Good evening. Firstly, I'd like to thank you for your willingness and consent to participate in this in-depth interview. My name is Gemma Fincher. I'm a marketing research student at the University of Technology, Sydney. This interview is taking place on behalf of Big W and UTS for the purposes of our research project. In this discussion, we aim to gain a deeper understanding of how consumers prefer to shop by gauging consumer buying preferences, habits, motivations, and opinions on whether they prefer to shop in-store, online, or a combination of both in order to entice consumers back into retail stores. During this discussion, I will ask a number of questions regarding your buying preferences, motivation, and opinions. Your opinions and ideas are very important to us, so please speak freely, stating your personal experience, feelings, and attitudes. What we learn and gather from this discussion today will remain confidential and will assist us to conduct further detailed primary research. Please note when answering questions that there's no right or wrong answer. Please endeavour to answer all questions honestly and raise any other associated issues or insights you may have along the way. If at any time during the interview you do not understand a question, please do not hesitate to ask for further clarification or to reframe the question. Additionally, if any time you feel uncomfortable, you're entitled to withdraw your application. This interview will run for approximately 15 minutes, and as a requirement for the research project, it is important that this session is recorded. The reason being is that I will need to pay close attention to your body and verbal language and may at times miss key information. Is this something you're comfortable with? Yes. I will be interpreting the information from today and using the results to formulate our key findings in the research report. Your personal details will not be revealed and will remain strictly confidential. If you're willing to participate in this interview, can you please carefully read our consent form and sign at the bottom? Okay. You can just sign it. It's the second. It's for me, thank you. Okay. Can I please grab your name?
Yeah, Lauren Winters.
And your age?
21.
And your nationality?
Australian.
Australian? Your suburb of residence?
Miranda.
And your occupation?
Student.
Okay, just a couple of questions to understand your brand awareness. So have you heard of Big W?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the sorts of products that Big W sells, and if so, explain?
Yeah, so I know they sell kind of almost everything. Like they sell books, stationeries, clothing, electronics, homeware supplies, toys, just a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. So do you regularly shop at Big W?
Occasionally I kind of just walk in there.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm in the centre, Westfield Shopping Centre.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then I mainly browse more than buy. And if I do, it's usually just like lollies or something.
So can you please describe the sort of products you've purchased or continue to purchase from Big W?
I buy a lot of stationery from there.
Yeah.
And also because it's in the same section, they're lollies as well.
Yeah. So do you think that you'd be affected if Big W was to close down its retail store and just offer an online platform? If yes, can you explain why?
I think I would be affected because I've never bought off their online store just because it's more of when I'm in the centre, I'll go there. I wouldn't actually seek myself out to, search online because whenever I go there, I don't usually buy anything particularly in mind.
Yeah.
Whereas when I go online shopping, I always kind of know what I want.
So it's more you go in and then if you see something you like it.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
So just some other questions just to become more familiar with your retail shopping habits. How often in general do you shop?
About 2 to 4 times a month. Just depends on the need of shopping and everything as well.
Mm-hmm. So do you prefer to shop in store or online or a combination of both?
I like to use both, just because it makes kind of like the platform wider as well. Because I have like the online shopping option, and then I can also look in store.
Yep.
And kind of compare the two as well.
So can you explain how often you use either platforms and what products you purchase from them both?
I probably use online shopping more, mainly just for clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So like just dresses and everything, like usually party dresses and stuff like that.
And then in-store you use for?
And then in-store I kind of just use for everything. So usually like Priceline, like pharmacy stuff, like makeup products, beauty products, tanning stuff.
Yep.
And just general stuff like slippers and everything like that.
Okay. What motivates you to purchase online over in-store?
I kind of have the freedom of just being in my bed, and I'm not like, I don't have to get in my car, drive there, look for parking, then be in the centre. I can kind of just do it for my own time, like in my own time as well. And it doesn't really matter if, you know, I get home at 5:30. I can just have a browse online in bed and stuff as well.
So what deters you from shopping in stores?
Sometimes just the stress of parking, the traffic, and like the just congestion of like everyone there kind of can overwhelm me, and I just feel like whenever I shop in store I'm just in and out, like I need to pick something up, that's it, like that's kind of it.
So what do you believe are the key distinctive differences between shopping online as opposed to shopping in store?
I think shopping online you kind of just have the freedom, and like you don't have to feel judged or like see other people, and like you don't have like the sales assistants talking to you and stuff. It's kind of that independence and like doing it in your own time as well.
Yeah.
And then
okay, awesome. And just some questions surrounding Amazon. So have you heard of the company Amazon?
I have.
Are you familiar with the products that Amazon offers?
Kind of. I know like they were really big in America and they just kind of sell everything.
Yeah.
But I'm not too sure specifically what they sell. I just think it's kind of everything.
Yeah. So have you ever purchased from Amazon?
No, I didn't know.
Okay. So did you know that Amazon has entered the Australian market?
Yeah, but I didn't know you could buy. Like I didn't know I didn't know it was available yet to use.
Okay. So do you believe that their entrance into the Australian market will disrupt the Australian retail? If yes, explain.
I think it could potentially, just because I know Amazon is known for its really fast shipping, and a lot of other like places you order online, it usually takes quickest maybe 1 day, but apparently Amazon can be much more faster than that.
Okay.
And I think that can be like a really competitive thing with other online retailers.
Are you inclined to purchase off Amazon?
I could potentially, just if I like see something that I want or they have it in stock.
Yep. So what sort of products would you be inclined to purchase from Amazon if available?
I could potentially just order books.
Yeah.
Maybe some DVDs. Maybe more clothes. I'm just all that.
Bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And just some questions about your marketing mix. So do you consider purchase in store as important as it used to be?
Not really, because I know often with online stores as well, the reason why like people would shop in store would be like, well, what if it doesn't fit well? But now with online retailing, you just send it back and it's so much more easier.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the blocks, but now it's kind of,
So is there any reason why you still value shopping in store?
I still value shopping in store just because you can kind of like do a whole shop together. Like you're not just like limited to like one online store. You can just kind of search your way around. It's also kind of can be more of an activity as well, like catch up with your friends, go shopping.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just a bit more of a social thing as well.
So do you believe it's important that all retail brands continue their retail stores?
Yeah, I think it's definitely like important because it does produce like a lot more jobs and everything as well. And obviously I think we have such like a high elderly population as well, and they obviously don't use online shopping as much as I do. So yeah. And
what sort of factors influence your shopping experience?
So just like the vibe of the store I think is important, like the atmosphere, the customer service as well, and also like what they're selling in the store.
Yep. And what factors influence your decision to shop in store as opposed to online?
Definitely kind of just trying on the clothes.
Yeah.
Because often online stores use, beautiful like models to model their clothes, and obviously they're going to look good and everything, but would it work for my body shape as well?
Yeah.
And obviously like they're tall, so just kind of the try on.
And sorry, did you have something else to say?
No.
Okay. What promotion strategies do you believe will entice you to purchase in store?
I think kind of like trying things. So like in T2, I've never ordered offline from there because I know I can just try it in store. Like the sales assistants, they are really nice, and it's kind of a bit more of a pleasurable experience. But yeah, 'cause I can actually taste it and see if I like it, because you obviously can't judge it online until you try it. But yeah, kind of that like trying before you buy as well.
Like sampling and stuff like that. Okay. And just a few last questions about corporate and social responsibility. So do you believe that it's important that retail brands adhere to ethical practices and behaviour?
Yeah, I think it's extremely important. Yeah.
Would you be deterred from purchasing a brand that breaches ethical standards?
I think I would, but it's just a bit hard because you don't know. Like often shopping like clothes as well, they can be made under really bad circumstances, but you're just unaware of it and you're not too sure what brands are safe and what brands aren't.
Okay, so to conclude the interview, I'd like to ask you, do you have any further information, comments or opinions that you'd like to share? Anything further you'd like to raise?
No.
Okay, I'm just going to summarise some key findings that I've found from you, and you can confirm if everything's correct. So you've heard of Big W.
Yeah.
You occasionally buy there if it's in the centre, just browsing around, usually stationery, lollies. You wouldn't usually seek an online store for it. It's more just something that if you're in the centre and you're looking around, you find something you like, you might buy it. In general, you shop about 2 to 4 times a week. You like both online and in-store experiences. Your online's more like clothing, and then in-store is more like makeup, beauty. Online can be preferred because of the freedom of buying, the independence. You can do it in your house. There's no congestion of parking, all that sort of stuff. There's no sales assistants pressuring you. And you have heard of Amazon. They sell a bit of everything. They have the potential to sort of disrupt the Australian market because of their fast shipping. You'd be enticed to buy books, DVDs and clothes off them. You don't really consider purchasing in-store as important as it used to be, but it also is important for people who are maybe a bit older, because they like to kind of go in and shop around and look around rather than going online, because they might not be able to do that. And you believe that corporate social responsibility is important, and you probably would be deterred from purchasing a brand that breaches ethical standards, but sometimes you might not actually know about it, which can become a bit of an issue. Is this all correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to thank you for your voluntary participation and role within this discussion. Thank you so much, and we'd like to thank you on behalf of Big W for your efforts today.